Sup flappers, welcome back to the video, and boy do we have a lot to talk about today with the character banners and then also with the weapon banners, and of course Ayato's signature weapon. They kind of dropped all the deuces on us in one go, and I'm loving it. Not the fact that they're dropping deuces on us, but the fact that there's so much that we need to talk about, and let's just quickly get right into it. All right, like, subscribe, do all this stuff, or don't. It really doesn't matter. Anyways, let's start with the character banners, because I'm not gonna even look at the Venti one because they're literally the same. We're looking at the Ayato ones because, man, this dude is dripping. All right, so one of the better 4-star rosters I've seen on the banner. Of course, the dud here obviously being Yunjin, but can you really call her a dud at this point? I think Yunjin as a character definitely has her role in the meta in many different teams, and in certain teams you would really prefer to have Yunjin to facilitate your auto attackers, right? And guess who's an auto attacker as well, right? Come on, it all fits together. On top of that, I was suspecting someone like Yunjin, maybe a really solid 4-star. Xiangling is great, and then like a Razor or something like that. I didn't know they're gonna throw Sucrose in there as well. All right, so that's a big win for free-to-plays who are relatively early into the game. If you're like 3-4 patches into the game, right, you've been playing the game for a solid 5-6 months, half a year or so, this is going to be an overall very good banner because you need to get that Xiangling to C4 for her to last longer, right? All right, get your mind out of the gutter. I'm talking about her burst skill. So overall, I think this banner is worth it to pull on. And once again, reiterating, I've made several videos talking about different aspects of Ayato, comparing him with other characters, comparing him with the current meta state. He's pretty solid. It's very difficult for Hoyoverse to screw up a Hydro character. If he can't vape, he can freeze. If he can't freeze, he can electro charge, right? At the end of the day, there's 3 very powerful ways to play a Hydro character, and even someone like Kokomi, who was designed to be a dedicated healer who can't crit, ended up being a great driver in certain electro charge teams. It's hard pressed to think that Ayato can't have similar effectiveness in those teams. Now, the biggest problem with Hydro characters, like I've said before, is they probably can't vape due to internal cooldown issues, because every time he vapes, he probably needs to wait like 2 billion millennias to vape the next hit. So most likely not going to happen, but for people who are, staying hopium, thinking the reason they put Xiangling on his banner is because they want us to play Vape Ayato. Keep believing, man. I love the energy, and I hope you guys are able to make it work somehow. All right. With that said, I think that's enough for the character banners, because overall, I think it's definitely something people should pull on, even if you're kind of like building pity. Give it a shot. The 4 stars, I don't remember the last time they put these kind of high value 4 stars. Usually it's just 2 really high valued ones, and one of them is really iffy, but go for it, people. All right, I think this is going to be a big win for a lot of people here. Now, speaking of big win, we kind of have to talk about the weapon banner as well. To be honest, this weapon banner is it's for whales. All right, this one a lot of people might see on the surface like, oh, Elegy on top of Haran Gippaku. I can tell you right now, it's for whales. This one is a whale bait, because Elegy for the end is literally a whale bow. It's not necessary. It's so min-max, and there are people who are memeing saying, oh, if you pair the Elegy for the end with your Amber and then pair her in a Hu Tao team, and all right, that's all neat and everything, right? Theoretically, highest DPS for Elemental Mastery Hu Tao teams. Cool, right? Cool story, bro. But I'm not about to drop like potentially $400-500 on a Elemental Mastery Amber Hu Tao team to maximize damage in that regards. So as you guys see where I'm going with this, taking it a little bit to the extreme, but understand that for free-to-plays, it's best to keep away from this banner unless you're like, oh, I don't care if I get Elegy or Haran Gippaku. I can get both of them and I'll be really, really happy. So in a situation, it's a win-win, right? And if that's the case for you, trust me, you're probably going to end up with an off-banner weapon. Just trust me, right? If I try to go for this weapon banner, I'm probably going to end up with like my 70th Amos bow. But in all honesty, if you're really thinking like, hey, wholeheartedly, I would love to get either of these weapons, right? You're wanting to build, like I said, Amber, you want to build certain characters who can make use of the Elegy bow, which a lot of the characters can. You can use a lot of those characters to proc its effects. Granted, it's a whole freaking doctoral thesis in the description of this bow, but it's a nice bow. All right, I can say it's a nice bow, but it's definitely not necessary to any extent of playing this game. Again, no 5-star weapons are necessary, but there are just 5-star weapons that are built different than others, and Elegy is certainly like around the mid spectrum. It's not like so niche to the point where like the freaking donut for Kokomi, but it's definitely a weapon that I would urge free-to-plays to maybe save for a later date. If you have those kind of primo gems, save them for, you know, a consolation on a really good character like Hu Tao, right, Ganyu, or even Kazuha, Raiden Shogun, or just flat out get a C0 copy of them. There are just better weapons also out there that are more flexible for free-to-plays, like getting one weapon and sharing them amongst like half of your entire account. That's gonna be value, right? Whereas Elegy for the end really is looking at maybe 3 to 4 characters for most people, right? I know it can be used on more, but for most people, you're probably only going to have 3 or 4 characters that are built and ready to go using this weapon. So that's being that. The 4-star weapons on this banner are looking pretty decent. I wouldn't say out of this world, right? Like you got the Rust, you got Dragon's Bane, and that looks to be the Wit Sith, which are all good weapons and best in slots for certain characters, but they're not as universal and amazing as something like the Sacrificial Sword, the Stringless, and stuff like that. Overall, I think it's an okay weapon banner. Solid 7 out of 10, but I wouldn't go any higher. Would I urge any free-to-plays to try their luck on this banner? Probably not, but if you're feeling lucky, if you're feeling spicy, and once again, if you feel like you can't lose no matter which 5-star you get, and you're willing to take that 25% chance of not getting either of them, go for it, man. All right, now let's take a look at the Harankepaku Futsu for everybody who's curious as to, you know, what weapon is this good on other than Ayato. And here we have the weapon. So as you can see down here, there's a new thing that you need to get. So you're probably not going to be able to 90 this weapon too soon, but you know, the whales will find a way, of course. But overall, I think this is it's an okay weapon. I wouldn't say it's like a Staff of Homa for the swords, but it's good. All right, let's go over the effect. So obtain 12% all elemental damage bonus. Of course it would, because nowadays all weapons do that, and MiHoYo also realized that crit rate, crit damage weapons just sell really well, so just slap that on there while they're at it. Decent base stat for attack as well. Nothing to write home about though. When other nearby party members use elemental skills, the character equipping this weapon will gain 1 wave spike stack. I don't know why they keep coming up with new names. It's getting really difficult to memorize all of them, but hey, maximum you can get 2 stacks. This effect can be triggered once every 0.3 seconds, very quick, when the character equipping this weapon uses an elemental skill. All stacks of wave spike will be consumed to gain rippling upheaval. Each stack of wave spike consumed will increase normal attack damage by 20%. So up to a total of 40% attack damage bonus. That is normal attack. And think about it like this. How many normal attack based sword users are there in the game of Genshin Impact? Let me just scratch my head here real quick and do some quick mathematical calculations. Probably about 2.5. All right, to be honest with you guys, I don't want to sell you guys on a pipe dream, but this weapon, apart from Ayato, it's going to be for more like off meta normal attacking sword users. Now, am I saying that there can't be new sword users to come out in the future that heavily relies on normal attacks? Of course not. But what I'm saying to you is this is almost going to be an exclusive weapon for Ayato, because when you talk about characters using normal attacks, sword users, while you would think they would utilize normal attacks, not many of their kits currently in Genshin Impact fully revolves around using normal attacks, with exceptions to Ayato. Now, of course, they exist. For example, Keqing, right? She exists, but are you going to pull this weapon just for your Keqing? As a free-to-play player, that depends. Are you paying for love, or are you paying for power here? I know there's going to be whales, Giga Whales, who's going to R5 this weapon, and they are not going to even pull for Ayato because they're gonna get it for their Keqing. But then again, Keqing in her optimal playstyle is usually using like 1 to 3 normal attack into a charge attack, so there's also that to take consider of. She's not 110% fully utilizing this sword's effectiveness in its current state, right? But You do you. I know there's going to be people in the comments saying, hey, what about this character built in this one specific way, and once in 20,000 situations I'm going to be able to use this. That works too. All right, I'm just affirming to whatever you're saying, that works too. You can do that as well. All I'm saying is, for people who are looking for value, maybe look elsewhere. All right, this is not going to be it for the free-to-play players. This is not going to be your next Staff of Homa for the sword category. All right, with that said, thank you guys for watching. I'm really excited. I want to explore Chasm. I want to pull on the banner. I wish I can get lucky. I don't want to pull out my wallet, but Hoyoverse has a way to charming it. So we'll see. All right, with that said, hope you all stay safe. Peace, peace. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.